Hi class, in this video we'll be talking about the XIRR and XNPV functions, and in this particular function, this is a very important function here. And in the last video we have covered about this NPV and IRR function. One important thing that you might have noticed over there, we normally get this question when we have the question of IRR or NPV. We normally get this kind of setup. So we say year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And eventually, so if I want to calculate IRR, so I'll definitely go and select the values. So I'll select the values and that's it. It's not asking me for selecting any kind of dates. So what IRR or NPV function, in fact, even if you apply NPV, so you will say NPV, and NPV will ask you a discounting rate, so which you say, let's say 8%, and then it asks you the values. So it's not giving any consideration whatsoever to the time or date. So the hypothesis, or the assumption behind the calculation of NPV and IRR is that all the cash flows are, distributed on the annual space of interval. So sometime it may happen, and sometime, this might not be true. For example, that value that I'm showing you right now, these are number of transactions here. So if I'm showing you 5 date of transactions over here, and this is not the annual cash flow, this is the cash flow, because it's not annually spaced. So this is how my data is actually looking like. So what is my annual rate of return in this kind of transaction where I'm making such irregular amount of payments at irregular intervals, and what I'm earning? So just try and see what normally I advise to my students in terms of mutual fund investment. I say whenever market takes a dip, you must have a lump sum portfolio where you should keep on entering some of the amounts whenever markets are falling. That's a good idea and wise strategy to invest for long term. So obviously these dates are not going to be equally spaced. Today the market is in the bearish side. You might invest some money today. Now maybe after 3 months you have another opportunity. After 9 months you have another opportunity. After a few years you have another set of opportunity. And this is like going to be obviously not equally spaced. So in such kind of transactions, when you want to calculate your annualized return, the XIR or XNPV is a better function. So what we are going to do, we'll be calculating these two things over here. So let us put it here. And the function that we are going to use here is XIRR and XNPV. And I'll show you how this will work. So it is XNPV, right? For XNPV, will be requiring some kind of discounting rate. So I'm just keeping my discounting rate around 9% here, just for the example. So if I'm calculating XIRR, so what I'll do, XIRR. Now this time, what you see, you have some consideration of dates as well. So you're selecting all the values of the cash flows. Then you go and select all the dates as well. So you can select from top to bottom as well. There's no harm in that. So this is the way where we are giving the expansion of IRR towards the dates as well. So we are considering time interval into this particular calculation also. It is manually very difficult to do, and Excel will do it in a single click here. So if I enter here, so this is a number that I'm getting, and let us convert that in percentage. So the XIRR in this particular case is 11.37%. So now, as we discussed in the previous video, it is more than discounting rate. So my net present value should come positive. So let us see that how does that happen here. So if I'm taking XNPV, and this time again it is asking me the rates, first of all, at which I want to discount. So I want to discount at this rate, 9%, comma, what are the values that I want to discount? I'll select the entire range here. There's no point to worry about duration, because here we are also considering dates. So in the NPV function, initially I told you we have to start from year 1 set of transaction, but here that consideration is not valid, because you are going to specify in the next step dates as well. So first of all, we have given the set of rate, comma, values, and followed by the dates at which these values are actually coming. So entering here, and as I told you, this has to be a positive number. So my XNPV, extended NPV, at this particular rate will be around 45,000. What if my discounting rate goes beyond 11.37%? If the inflation rate in the market goes like around 12%, what will happen then? So if I make it 12%, yes, my NPV will go negative, because my internal rate of return is 11.37, which is acting as a cutoff. If the inflation rate goes beyond this, my NPV, net present value, will be negative. However, if it is less than 11.37%, I'll get a positive answer. So this is one simple application of this thing. Let me just give you another example, very interesting example. One of the agent is coming to you, investment advisor is coming to you, and he's advising you one particular product, which are like very popular nowadays. And they say you have to make 10 years, continuously some kind of payment, starting from today. Let's assume that today's date is obviously like let's say today is 5th of October, so it is and from 1 year from now I want to like continue with this kind of payment for next 10 years. So I have to make 10 initial payments like that. So I'm selecting for 10 different years. Let me just count in. These are 8. Let me just move down to 2 more. And then what they say that for next 5 years you won't pay anything, you won't get anything. And then after the 15 years from now, like 10 years of payment, 5 years of that non-transaction duration, after 15 years, like 5 years from this duration. So if you just copy paste it here, and it is going to be 36, because 32, 33, 34, 35, you won't get anything. You will start getting the fund in 2036 onwards for next 10 years. And next 10 years means 36, 37, and then it will continue for next 10 years. So I'm just dragging these values for 10 times. So let me see how much. These are 11, so let me just put it 10. So what's happening here in this particular data set, I'm just going down this, I'm just scaling down this for the visibility part. So these are my dates. These initial 10 years I'm making a payment, so I'm just highlighting it as a wet sort of data, and here I'm going to get certain money, annual annuity kind of thing I'll be getting here. So let's say if I'm making a payment of 1 lakh rupees here, I'm just making a payment of 1 lakh rupees here. Every year I'll be making 1 lakh rupees of payment, and this will continue here. And they come up with very fancy plans, and they say we'll be paying you double of your amount that you have paid to us. So they'll be paying you 2 lakh rupees here. So it sounds good. It sounds good that it appears like that we are paying 10 lakhs and we are getting 20 lakhs. So very important thing, when you are going for such kind of investment where the obviously annual spacing is there, but annual spacing has been compromised in this particular bracket. So the value is compromised in this particular bracket because there's a gap of 5 years, and the IRR function will not work here. So for that purpose, you have to apply XIRR function to know what you are earning in this particular investment. So XIRR, and then I go with values here, comma, I have to specify dates over there. So the moment I do that, I come to know, oh, in this product, in this particular investment, I'm just earning 5.07, which is not a very great amount of return. And in fact, even if you increase this particular value to 2,50,000, so even in that case, my overall return will be close to 6.76%. If it goes beyond 3 lakh something, so yeah, then it comes around 8%. So the point to think is that what you're paying in the recent years from now. So the present value of what you pay is higher as compared to the present value of what you get, because you'll get your first payment after 15 years. So whenever someone comes up and proposes you something like that, very simple thing that you must do, you just put that payment schedule in the Excel and try and run this XIRR function, and it will give you that idea, okay, how much I'm going to earn. So then accordingly, you can apply the NPV functions and all. So in this case, if I have the XNPV setup, so 7% is my inflation. So because right now the IRR is 8.16, so I'll get a positive NPV, but put down the line, so this is what I'm paying, and this is where when I'm paying. So this is the function. So this is my set of net present value. So I'm paying 10 lakhs, I'm getting back 30 lakhs, but eventually in today's term, I'm just earning 1,22,000 extra. However, yes, future planning and retirement planning, the kind of things are there which might be being solved by this kind of product. So that is something that you need to see the utility part as well. But as a core financial expert, you must also have a look at the returns, what you're getting from the product. So that's something it's very useful. So that's it about XNPV and XIRR. Thank you.